Mini skirt on, dip my body in glitter. Platform sneakers, all the boys want a picture. Two foreign cars, I make rich look richer. Save your breath, baby, I'm not going home with ya. Mini skirt on, dip my body
Hello. You are now tuned into the Little Bit a Lot podcast. I'm your host, Kristen, and welcome back to another week. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. This week has been long. It's been a long one, but you know what? Like I said before, we're feeling the spring weather, and it's been nice. It's still been nice. I've still been trying to, force myself to get out of the house. I think when you work from home, it's just easy to just become a little hermit and never want to get out the cribbo. But, we got to push ourselves to be social in some capacity. Not even really social, but just like being outside. You know what I mean? It's like, I know that there's so many times that people are like, oh, I hate when I'm outside in the public and the public is there. But sometimes you just gotta be amongst the public so you can feel something. So that's been like my recent goal that I've been trying to do lately. I don't know about you guys, because sometimes it's like between getting all your stuff delivered to you, the convenience of delivery and working from home, it's like a week will pass and I'm like, I don't remember the last time I've been outside. Like, it was getting that crazy. So, we've been trying. But yeah, so we're back with another episode. We got a couple things on the list that I wanted to talk about with you guys. A few weeks ago, we went to the movies to go see You, Me, and Tuscany, starring Halle Bailey. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I almost forgot to talk about that. I wanted to, give you guys my thoughts on that film. Just dabble in it just a little bit. There may be spoilers, so just so you know, right? Like, I just want to key, because I feel like, when it comes to black rom-coms, we need to wake it up. Okay. We've also got some stuff that was going on with Ice Spice and her getting in a fight at McDonald's that happened a few weeks ago that I hadn't been able to talk about yet. So we're going to share our thoughts on that. And like I mentioned in last week's episode, or was it the week before last, we have Zara Larsson's new album that came out. It's basically her Midnight Sun album, but like a deluxe version. So she made every single song on the album a remix. Right? So it's the same album, but every song is different, and every song has a feature on it featuring, a woman, hence why it's called Girls Trip, right? The concept is super cute. It's giving Charlie XCX Brat, like her remix album for that. She did say that's where she got the inspiration from as well. And this little album, guys, has been really just like bringing me so much joy and happiness. And I'm like, we got to talk about it as well, because me and my sister, when we're on that expressway, honey, and we've been listening to this Girls Trip album, it ain't nothing to play with. Y'all better move out the way, because Kristen and Janae are here on the road and we're turning up. Like, it gets crazy. So that's been a lot of fun. So let's go ahead and get into it. But before we do, if you're watching on YouTube, thank you so much. I appreciate it. We are so close to hitting 1K subscribers on YouTube. The day that I'm recording this, I think I have 912 subscribers. So if you aren't already subscribed, I really think you should give it, a try, right? Subscribing is free on YouTube, first of all. So who doesn't love free things, right? And if you are interested in a show where we talk about pop culture, mental health, music, movies, TV shows, and more, then, go ahead and do the thing. Turn the, post notifications on while you're at it, right? And comment down below to let me know what you think about today's episode. Have you seen You, Me, and Tuscany? What are your thoughts on the Ice Spice drama? Let's keep it cute. Let's keep it fun, though, right? In the comments, as always. And if you're listening on Spotify and Apple, rate the 5 stars and leave a review to let me know what you think about the show. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the episode. Oh, but also again, before we do, I had an announcement that I wanted to make, share something with you guys. Just a little transparency thing, nothing to be worried about though, okay? I am implementing a small schedule change with the podcast moving forward. So I don't want you guys to panic, right? Like, the podcast is not ending anytime soon. But, after thinking about it for a while, I think I'm going to start posting bi-weekly on the show instead of every week. So, a lot of times I always say new episodes come out every Friday. Well, going forward, new episodes are going to be coming out every other Friday. And honestly, this was not a decision that I take, lightly, right? Because it's been almost 3 years of doing a weekly episode and it's been so much fun. But, I've just been doing a lot lately, as you guys know, between the fact that I still have a full-time job, right? Working 40 hours a week. And then I also produce and manage this podcast and the socials that come with that. Plus I have a second podcast, shameless plug. If you guys haven't checked it out, be sure to check that out. It's called Everything 2000s. And I co-host that with my friend Shalina and, help out with the socials on that and manage our YouTube channel. And then I also have my coloring content that I manage, on YouTube, and I have socials for that as well. And by the way, speaking of the coloring content, I just hit 1K subscribers on my coloring YouTube channel at Coloring with Kristen. So thank you so much to anybody who listens and also watches, the coloring content and engages with that. That has been incredible. I'm so happy that both of my YouTube channels are so close to 1K. It's been a long time coming, but we are here, right? We are really here. So now I just have to hit the watch hours and then I will be eligible to be, monetized hopefully soon on, both platforms, but particularly the coloring channel. You have to have 1K subscribers and have 4,000 watch hours. So I'm halfway with the watch hour. So if you guys want to help your girl out, go check out some videos on the coloring channel so we can hopefully get monetized over there. That'd be great. But then I've also been Twitch streaming. I stream every week on Wednesdays at 5 p.m. And, on top of that, I've still tried to, manage and balance my life outside of the internet, right? So that has led me to kind of feel creatively just burnt out just a little bit, And with this podcast, I never, want this or really any of my content to start feeling rushed or stressful or feel like I'm forcing myself to just create just so I can keep up with the upload schedule. That's not fun anymore, we're not about to keep doing that, because at the end of the day, I want my content to actually feel fun. I want it to feel comforting. I want it to feel genuine. And I always want it to feel like, me and you, my audience members, we're just hanging out, we're keying. I don't want to keep, feeling like I'm rushed to get an episode uploaded every week, So I think that balance is required so I can be able to, spend equal time with all of the things that I like to do, And honestly, I feel like the internet in general has so much going on right now. Obviously, it's overwhelming, all the time, always. There's constantly content everywhere all the time. And so, I just realized that posting less doesn't mean that I care less, because I'm not I can't even be hard on myself. I've been doing the thing, I've been grinding for a long time. That doesn't mean that I'm any less dedicated to this show. And I think if anything, this is going to help me make a better show and produce better content for you guys in the long run, because I'll have more time, and energy to put into it. So honestly, I just think that having a more realistic schedule with this show going forward being bi-weekly is already just in my head, making me feel a lot less stressed. And I think that is going to help me, like I said, stay creative long term instead of just always feeling like I need to catch up. And who knows, maybe one day I'll go back to weekly episodes again. But for right now, like I said, I want to be able to find a balance that works for me. So overall, just wanted to say at the top of the episode, thank you so much to everybody who has been supporting me through all of my content eras, whether you listen to my podcast or you watch my coloring videos as well, or you come, hang out on my Twitch streams, which it's twitch.tv/gaming with Kristen. We reached Twitch affiliate. So come on over, come hang, come key. So, whether you interact with any of that or you just interact with me in general online, on the socials or whatever, any capacity, I just appreciate it more than So just want to say that bi-weekly is going to be the teens. So every other Friday, 7 a.m. Eastern, you can look forward to a new episode from your girl. Okay. And then Everything 2000s, the podcast, that one is bi-weekly as well, we release episodes every other Wednesday, but we're about to go on break and we're kind of in talks of potentially moving that show to monthly as well. So I'll be sure to like keep you posted with anything, that changes with that show too. So be sure to check out the second show as well. The day that I'm recording this, we just released an episode last week about the Princess Diaries. And oh my gosh, I absolutely loved the Princess Diaries growing up. It is one of my favorite movies of all time. So it would mean a lot if you guys check that episode out because the childhood nostalgia of it all, watching that film was incredible. And I will be doing an episode where I talk about Princess Diaries 2 on this channel. So Princess Diaries 1 is on everything 2000s. Princess Diaries 2 will be on this channel. I can't remember if I already said that or not. So yeah. But let's go ahead and get into it and talk about this movie, You, Me, and Tuscany. As soon as I saw that we were going to get this film, I was really excited because at the end of the day, I always see it, and I'm going to say it again, every time, always. I love a black woman from infinity to infinity. Okay? Words of Queen Latifah. We are going to support black women. We're going to support black actresses. And the fact that we were getting a rom-com and it's a theatrical release, I feel like is a big deal. And, I thought that it was important for me, as a Halle Bailey fan and just, supporter of, a strong black woman, everything that she's been through, to show up and support this film, in person in the theaters. So my boyfriend and I would happen to take a mental health day, and we were like, why don't we just go to the movies? And I was really happy that he went with me because my boyfriend does not like rom-coms. He is genuinely so demented. I'm kidding. But he really is just crazy though. He only wants action, thriller, boom, cack, as much as possible. He is never been a fan of romance in any way, shape, or form when it comes to the movies. And it's crazy to me because he's a really romantic person, but he doesn't like rom-coms for real. But he went with me and he ended up enjoying it a lot more than he thought he would as well. So that was all that matters. And of course, I had to get my bust down movie snacks. It was just a perfect day. You know what I mean? The weather was great. I'm with my mans. We're going to see a rom-com. We're all just live, laugh, loving for black, romance. I got my cherry icy, my popcorn, right? Extra butter, bust down with my garlic parmesan and pretzel bites with pizza sauce. Come on. Are you kidding me? And you're telling me I'm not supposed to turn up? I'm not supposed to have a great time? So the film was really cute, I don't really have too much to say about it because I feel like there just isn't too much to say about the film. The film is so simple, and at the end of the day, it's predictable, but in a good way. And it's just really cutesy and this cute, I guess I should say digestible cornballish way, because when you have moments in rom-coms and different movies that are a little bit cornball, sometimes it's not as digestible, but this was. And you're this was slightly corny in all the best ways. And when I say slightly cornball, it's no disrespect. You guys know that. There's absolutely no shade, no tea. I think that truly is the best rom-com recipe, to purposely add a few cornball moments, a few cheesy moments, because that's what makes it rom-com, notoriously. You need a little bit cheesy. You need a little bit of cheese, right? White cheddar. If you want the movie to be a key. And so, I think at the end of the day, if white people, no shade, no tea, can have helly corny movies, especially on the Hallmark Channel, then black people deserve corny, cheesy, awesome, rom-coms as well. Because there's been so many times where my mom is in her winter depression and I go in her room and I'm like, girl, what are you watching? She's got Hallmark pulled up and it's Cowboy Christmas. And you're like, girl, what the heck? What are these movies? I'm so over Hallmark and their chatty, like, cowboy Christmases of it all. And like, if anything, this movie did feel like it was kind of like a Hallmark moment, but like on a slightly better scale because of the Italy of it all. You know, like, I lived for the scenery, okay? And, you know, once again, spoiler alert, the movie is basically about Halle Bailey's character. She is like grieving the loss of her mom, and she's just going through the gags. She ain't got no money for real, you know, and her best friend is encouraging her to be like, hey girl, you got to step it up. You know what I'm saying? I know you're grieving, but also, like, I don't want to see you down bad. And somehow, some way, she ends up going to Italy, child. And she ends up breaking in essentially to this white Italian man's house that he has, this villa in the middle of Italy, and ends up pretending to be his fiance. And I know the friend was like, girl, I want you to live life and see the world, but that's not what I meant, sister. So she was just like, girl, this is crazy. Like, you took a flight to Italy and then basically, like, you use this man's house. And so then when her, you know, when she's frolicking around, live, laugh, loving, thinking everything easy breezy, beautiful cover girl, then his mom and his granny come up in the crib out and they're like, who are you? And she's like, and then they end up being like, oh, you're his fiance. And this is the whole thing, guys. Okay. Like, you don't, if you're listening to this, you probably already watched it. But the plot of it all and the reason why she even got to Italy after meeting this man in itself was like slightly cheesy, but I loved it because it's like, at the end of the day, who says that you know, a black girl can't sometimes make cheesy, silly, goofy decisions every once in a while? We can't be silly, goofy, whimsy, huh? We can't, you know, we're allowed to do things that sometimes don't make any sense. And that's what she did. She knew that it was absolutely diabolical to go to Italy and break in that man's house. But she said, you know what? Sometimes you got to live on the edge. And I like that. I loved that about her. Okay. She said, F it, we ball. Hope I don't get arrested. And sometimes you just got to hold your breath, you know, have a hope and a dream and just say, maybe this is going to work out. And maybe this is going to be a fun little trip. And a fun little trip she found indeed. And in the end, she ended up falling for her fake fiance's cousin brother. And I really feel like a lot of, you know, the critiques, people were saying that they didn't find that the main guy, what's his name? Regé? The guy that plays the Duke of Hastings in season 1 of Bridgerton. They said that her and him didn't really have a lot of chemistry since they were like the main like love interest couple throughout the film. But I disagree. You know, that man is going to raise his eyebrow and give you that light skin charm and turn that chemistry up. Like, it was there. Okay. I don't personally know what y'all were seeing, but I think the chemistry was there. Okay. And then I thought it was just really cute how, like, you know, she ended up finding like, you know, friends along the way with like the taxi driver. He was such a fun comedic relief throughout the film to me. Like, him calling his car Coochie. I'm like, girl, what? And then it's like the corniness of like them playing Mario on the radio in the car, him singing Let Me Love You. I'm like, oh my God, this is cringe, but I love it. I love it. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I really live for this cheesy moment because he could not sing. I'd have been like, okay, sweetie, thank you. We get it. We get it. But it was like, it was so cutesy at the same time. So I'm just like, okay, I'm living for this. And, you know, I just thought it was funny because, you know, it's like we're at the same time. I'm like, yeah, we need to support like black rom-coms. Meanwhile, they're the only black people like literally in Italy. Like, okay, you know what? But at the end of the day, like I said, they serve what they needed to serve. So I just really enjoyed it overall. The scenery of it all was really cute. And I think that the overlying message was really nice. You know, like, she was able to have a new healthy attachment with, cooking in a way that was, healing for her, because, she wasn't able to feel that love for cooking that she had once before because her mother passed away. And so, it was just really nice to see that once she got to Italy, she was able to find a newfound family, newfound friends who were able to get her comfortable with, her passion again. And that's really important, like tapping into the things that make you happy, the things that give you joy. And, it's really hard to connect with that again when you go through something so traumatic like that, and it being something that was a connection to you and a loved one, and now that they're gone, I know how difficult that was for her. But by the end of the film, you're just rooting for her, and you're like, yes, sister, go ahead and cook that pasta. Like, do it for your mama. Like, she's looking down at you and she's so proud. So, yeah, I definitely would watch this film again once it comes on streaming. Like, it was just that cute to me. I really, really liked it. It made me feel all of the cute little cheesy feels. So, shout out to them for that. Also, let's talk about this Ice Spice fight in McDonald's. I'm not even trying to laugh because, like, once again, I don't want to laugh at her. Nothing about the situation and what she went through is okay, in any way, shape, or form. So when I saw that this happened, I'm like, what is going on, guys? And the fact that they got caught in 4K, like, basically attacking Ice Spice is sick. How did TMZ get a hold of this McDonald's footage? And the fact that it has audio is crazy to me, but whatever. So if you've seen the video, Ice Spice is literally in McDonald's. She's sitting towards the back of the restaurant, and she's sitting with this white girl, minding her business, eating her food. And then she's got on like a hoodie. The hood is over her head. So clearly she's like on some chill things, having a nice night out with her friend, keying down in McDonald's. She's like, I just want to feel like an ordinary girl, no Hannah Montana. Like, you know what I mean? Like, is God forbid a girl wants to feel normal again. God forbid a girl wants to just feel a little bit ordinary and just key with my good Judy and mother freaking McDonald's. Jeez. And so then this girl walks up to Ice Spice and her friend, and she kind of like puts her butt towards the white girl that she's with, and you can hear her, and I think she's saying, you want to shake some ass, or something like that. And Ice Spice is like, huh, basically. And they're not feeling it, because it's like, girl, why are you walking up to us saying this in the first place? Like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm confused. I think that would be kind of confusing to anybody. If somebody walked up to me and said that, I'd be like, huh, as well. Like, what are you talking about? Why are you walking up to me? I feel like this is a weird interaction for anyone to do to anybody, regardless if you're famous or not. Like, girl, what are you doing? And so when she didn't get the response that she wanted, then the girl starts going on talking about, where are you from? Are you from California? Are you from California? And Ice is like, where are you from? Where are you from? And then the girl says she's from something. And Ice Spice is like, oh, okay, you from something. And then next thing you know, they're still going back and forth. And then that's when the girl ends up hitting Ice Spice. She slaps her in the face. Then Ice Spice gets up. She's sitting in a booth eating McDonald's, right? With her friend sitting across from her. She stands up and starts fighting back. Love that, okay? Because at the end of the day, you want to stand up over me while I'm sitting down at this table and swing on me? No, I'm going to stand up on the table, on the bench chair and cower over you. Okay, I'm going to stand over you and get some height difference up in here, right? Quick thinking. Love that. Okay, because when you thinking about the fight of it all, you got to get the higher ground. Okay, so you could tell Ice Spice is like, I ain't new to this. I'm true to this. Okay, because you're not gonna play me like I'm one of them. Okay, I'm a celebrity or not. I'm still gonna be on guard and ready for whatever. Okay, so love that. Next thing you know, as Ice Spice stands up, now she has height over the girl, right? So now she's taller than the girl, slinging down at her. The girl ends up slipping, right? And falling on the floor, basically. And then this dude, I guess one of her friends, comes over and grabs her and pulls her away from the fight. Meanwhile, Ice Spice's white friend is standing there doing nothing. So then it's like, okay, who's your friend, right? And I'm not saying that just because your friend is fighting, you have to fight. But at the same time, shouldn't you? Like, girl, if you're swinging, I'm going to swing too. Because who the frick is this running up on us? The freak? So don't know what's going on with her friend there. But Ice Spice is solo doloing it at this point. And then as the girl who attacked her is being pulled away towards the entrance of the McDonald's, Ice Spice is now walking across the tables. She's standing on the tables of the McDonald's and walking from table to table, and then eventually comes down and runs and walks towards the front door and is like yelling and being like, hello, like, what the freak? Who are you? Like, how you just gonna run up on me like that? And then she proceeds to get like in another fighting stance, right? And she's ready to like go at it again. But the girl's friends, keep holding her back. So Ice Spice is fully activated at this point. Okay? And then she goes back to her table. She goes to get her phone. And then there's this dude that walks up to her and he's like, are you good? And she's like, are you good? Are you with her? Like, do you know this girl? And he's like, no. And so next thing you know, Ice Spice ends up going outside. And then the dude that originally pulled the girl away from Ice Spice, the attacker's friend, he starts like turning up out of nowhere too. And now it's like becoming kind of like a 2-on-1, right? Because mind you, Ice Spice, her friend ain't doing nothing. It's just her at this point, fighting on her own. Because the white girl's, she's not contributing in any way, shape, or form. And so now the guy is, pulling up his pants, talking big things. And she's like, what the freak? Like, F you and her. And then he keep being like, oh, my mama, I'm going to beat you up. Oh, my mama, I'm going to whatever. And she's like, no, on your mama, let me fight the girl. You keep talking about you want to fight me. No. Like, am I a dude? No, I'm a girl and you're a man. So why are you even trying to get in the mix and fight me too? No, stop all the talking, bring that girl back out here and let me fight her. So then I guess they end up reuniting again. And now the fight has moved from not only inside McDonald's from the front door to outside the front door to now we're in the middle of the street. And Ice Spice is fighting this girl. And that's where the video ends. And then apparently the girl ends up going on socials and she's like basically making up a bunch of lies. And she's saying that Ice Spice was rude to her and all this other kind of stuff. And it's like, girl, we saw the video. We heard the audio. You attacked her, plain and simple. So I guess allegedly she's taking legal action against this girl, as she freaking should. Like, who the frick is that? I'm a brat when I'm bumming that. No, Charlie XCX. Like, who are you? And then it was also funny to me because Ice Spice posted on Twitter, I think it was Twitter, and she was like, this would have never happened in Wendy's. And then she ended up like a couple weeks later coming out with like a Wendy's collab with like their new chicken sandwich. And I'm like, no, period. So yeah, at the end of the day, this is just such an inappropriate situation. Like, no matter, celebrity or not, walking up to someone in this capacity, that as a stranger is weirdo behavior, period. On top of that, her being a celebrity, like, what were you thinking, sister? And then you putting your hands on a stranger is just even more diabolically, like, mentally ill of her to do. I don't know what would possess this girl to do this. Like, it's actually insane. So I just, feel bad for Ice Spice, because clearly she was just trying to key. She was just trying to be normal and hang with her sis. And, and a lot of people I feel like are trying to like victim blame and be like, why was Ice Spice even in the McDonald's on her own without security in the first place? And it's like, yeah, in hindsight, she probably should have at least had security if she wanted to have a moment to eat inside. But at the same time, she should be allowed to like not be attacked. Like, what the freak? She should be allowed to sit in the McDonald's if she wants to sit in McDonald's without being touched in this way. Like, what? So regardless, whether she should have been there or not, security or not, it still doesn't take away from the fact that this was like insane. So yeah, at the end of the day, you guys know, like, I don't really have too much of a problem with Ice Spice. I went to her concert. I like her music. I think it's fun. And sometimes, you need music that's not going to always be that great, but that's just a good time, because I love a turn up. So yeah, this was just insane to see. Okay, so now we're moving on to the Midnight Sun Girls Trip album. Like I said, this is a remix album of Midnight Sun. So she basically took the album and then remixed every single song and added a female feature on it. Absolutely incredible. Like, I was not sure what to think, but somehow, some way, the way that she's turned up every single song just feels so right. And it's just crazy how I love both of them, like, equally so much. Like, first of all, Midnight Sun with Pink Pantheress is everything, because Pink Pantheress, made the beat different, so it gives it like a completely different feel. But then we also have Pink Pantheress like singing on the song too, in a way that she normally doesn't usually typically sing on her songs. And I love that, because I am a Pink Panther stan, love her albums, love her music. So this was really an interesting experience to hear her. And then the one that I was also really, really excited for was the Blue Moon remix with Kehlani. You guys know I've been loving Kehlani since forever. Okay. So this song literally gave Blue Moon such a boost in a way that I never even knew that it needed. And it really gave like, oh, okay, Zara Larsson, aka Zarisha, can really do this R&B thing if she wants to. Like, she can literally serve Swedish pop princess, but she can also literally give you R&B bust down in a crazy way that is literally gonna blow your mind. That beat is just so like good feeling R&B. And then Kehlani's feature, like their voices blending together, was just absolutely everything. And then you have freaking Pretty Ugly with JT. First of all, I absolutely love JT's verse. Okay? Because I feel like a lot of the times people sleep on JT, and I'm not saying that she's like the best rapper ever, but I really think that she has like a lot of clever bars that a lot of people don't really give her credit for. Like, if we're gonna go band for band versus like JT versus Carisha, JT's gonna like blow Carisha out the water every single time. No shade. We all know that JT was the better rapper in the City Girls. So when she has different lines in here, like me and my bitch twin savages sinners, that might float over some people's heads. But it's like, right, like twins, because the movie Sinners. And when she says, I get the fuck on, I ain't got Stockholm, right? Like, I don't have Stockholm. I will literally get the frick on. You're not gonna catch me just tripping after you. But then at the same time, she says, out in Sweden with Zara, bitch, Stockholm. Right. The play on with Stockholm syndrome, but then Stockholm because Zara in Sweden. Like, it's everything. And then on the beach, blonde hair, bitch, thong song. Cisco, blonde hair. Cisco has blonde hair, thong song. Like, I don't know. Like, everything about it was just everything. Then you have Girls Girl. I love how she changed like the concept of this song completely. This is the first song on here where it's like, not only is this just a remix, but we changed the whole core of the song itself. Because the original version of Girls Girl saying, I want to be a girl's girl, but what happens when a girl's girl wants the boy? Like, I've been knowing this girl since I was 12, but I kind of want her man. But then she changed the remix to basically have the concept of what happens when, you know, you want to be a girl's girl, but I want the spotlight. So it's not even about wanting the boy. It's not even about a man. This is about the spotlight, right? Because she's saying, okay, you know, the internet is saying that this girl has a new track out, but everybody wants me to pull her tracks out. And it's like, they say that there's room for everybody, but is there really? You know, like, and she's kind of having a shameless moment where she's like, you know, I want to be here for the girls, but at the same time, everything's a competition and I want to be number one. And it's like, come on, like, let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck. Because if you're in this and you don't want to be number one, then what are you doing? You know what I mean? So she ate on that, flipping the whole song and its meaning on its head. And then you have Crush featuring Eli. Everything about, I can't even talk. Guys, like, it's not a drill. Like, this has really got me gagged for real. Every single thing about the Crush remix, making it feel kind of like this cute, like, late 90s, early 2000s beat, just refreshes the song in a way that it's like, it's so needed. And I like this version, actually, of Crush better than the original version. Like, all of the other songs I like equally, but this remix of Crush is literally crapping all over OG Crush. No shade. And like, Eli was such a good feature on this song. She ate down. And then like the clever feeling at the end where she's like, Zara, hello? Are you there? I can't see anything. Where are we? We're in the song. That is kind. Like, nobody is doing that. Like, are you kidding me right now? Like, I have goosebumps. Like, yes, like what? Like, what's the tea? Like, we're in the song. Like, having a phone call on the song and being like, where are we? We're in the song. It's just, oh, it's like chef's kiss. And then Euro Summer. Once again, oh, almost, it's like, this is going neck and neck. OG version versus remix. Because the remix is so good. Like, the new beat on Euro Summer is just so incredible. And then you have Shakira talk about, I got that drip that makes you drown. Shakira better eat up the girls on this remix. Like, what? Like, who do you know is getting like a Liddy Shakira feature like this? Okay, 8 down. And then of course, Hot and Sexy with Tyla. Like, come on now. If sexy was a crime, then I'm guilty, Your Honor. That line alone is eating the girls up. Like, come on. And then The Ambition with Madison Beer. I said, okay. You know, I'm not particularly the biggest Madison Beer fan, but Madison Beer got on that song with some Arianka-like vocals because at the end of the day, she knew what was necessary. She said, okay, you know what? At the end of the day, I got $1 in a dream and I got to come correct on the Zara Larsson feature. And she did just that. You know, Madison Beer has come a long way with her singing and her vocals, but she knew how to come correct on this one. I tell you that. Okay, so really, really love the Ambition remix. Same thing with Saturn's Return, especially with Saturn's Return. This makes the song somehow feel even more ethereal, even more whimsy. Like, this song sounds like what people say that mermaid sirens sound like. If there was a mermaid trying to entice a man, this is the song that would be playing. It's Saturn's Return. Especially the end. You're like, what's going on? Like, I'm being teleported into this, like, heaven. I feel like I'm floating in space and drifting through multiple time continuums, and I have no worries in life. And you're like, this is what this is about. This song feels like pure, like, bliss plus ultra. I don't even know. Like, genuinely, like that meme of like Ariana Grande in Eternal Sunshine, like floating towards the sky, like just lifting, like teleporting. Like, that's what this song makes you feel like. And then Puss Puss with Robin. Come on now. 8 down. So overall, I would highly recommend, okay, the Midnight Sun Girls Trip remix album. Absolutely incredible. What the frick can't Zara Larsson do? Okay. So, yeah, that's all I got for you guys this week. We got a lot more bangers on the way. I got some, things scheduled for some guests. We got some returning guests that are come back soon as well, that I'm excited about. And overall, I just, like I said at the beginning, just, want to thank everybody that has been sticking around, through all of my eras with different content and everything. It's just been a lot of fun. And so I'm just grateful to be to the point where I feel like I can confidently change my schedule and still feel like I'm going to have the support, from you guys. I'm just hoping that you know how important the show is to me, how much I want to continue to maintain, like a basic level of like professionalism. I really value, like I said previously, consistency. And I think that this is just going to, continue to help me provide that for you guys, like I want to be able to show up and show out as my best, for my community, because y'all be rocking with me, I'm rocking with y'all, and I just appreciate it like so much. So I hope you guys are excited for what's to come with the show. I can't wait until we hit 1K. And I'm just, really appreciating your understanding, with the schedule change. I hope nobody gets too upset, right? And like in the end, I'm like, it's not even as big of a deal as I thought it was. Because then sometimes, certain weeks I don't feel good. I have to miss an episode, and like the show ends up being bi-weekly anyway on accident every once in a while. And like the episodes are still fine. Like, you guys still show up and listen and support me. So I'm like, y'all are real for that, right? So I'm gonna keep it coming if y'all keep showing up, right? So, like I said at the beginning, if you're watching on YouTube, thank you so much. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, so we can reach that 1K, and so that way you can be a part of the community. Okay, new episodes come out every other Friday now. All right, so turn the post notifications on, leave a comment down below, and if you're listening on Spotify and Apple, rate that 5 stars and leave a review. And with that, I will see you guys the Friday after next. Bye.
Cause I make rich look richer. Save your breath, baby, I'm not going home with ya. Mini skirt on, take my body in glitter. Platform sneakers up.